Small groups. No matter what brings people together to join a small group, from studying the Bible, studying a book, or watching a DVD series, or even discussing Sunday's message, one thing about the people who join small groups is that they want to grow. And a small group is a great place because it helps empower Christ followers to grow spiritually, emotionally, relationally. All things get built up in your life. GT small groups are going to be designed as communities where grace, truth, and time will come together to stir growth and find God's grace and forgiveness, learn about life from each other. And I realize that's a tall order. That's a lot to bite off. And we know it's not going to happen overnight. But it is a biblical model that the first century church employed. The first church really did this. See, as persecution came into the church and they had to spread out throughout the known world at the time, what happened was that they continued to meet together in this fellowship or koinonia, communion that they had, to build up their faith, to keep it growing, to keep it, to preserve it, and to spread it. Have you ever met a long-term Christian, say someone who's been a Christian for many years, and they got problems in their life, and you think, oh boy, or they didn't listen to this morning's message. Well, Pete Scazzaro, in his book EHS, Emotional Healthy Spirituality, says people like that are like 20-year Christians who are only 1 year deep, rather than being a Christian who is 20 years deep. Very big difference. And maybe they relate to people only to get their way, in a childish-like manner. Maybe people try to monopolize situations, groups that they're in, or conversation at a restaurant or whatever. They're always trying to be the first ones. They really haven't learned some of the more maturing qualities of spiritual life. And they may even read their Bible more than anyone else, but they haven't allowed the Holy Spirit to work that into a daily living out in their lives. This past Sunday, I even mentioned about people who have negative attitudes not being able to, to influence others. But why haven't they allowed the joy of the Lord to live out in their lives? Or what about someone who comes back from a conference, or they hear teaching on the web or on the TV, and all they think, well, that's the way, you got to do this now. This is the only way to live. And there's no balance, there's no growth, there's no depth. Well, first of all, no one is perfect. Some Christians, actually all Christians, have been at varying places of immaturity in their walk. But there's a difference between wanting to grow and not growing. Now, I've been involved in a number of small groups over the years in my Christian experience. And one memorable group was a place where the Holy Spirit used 3 others in my life to help bring about change, to help me see some of those shallow 1-year places in my life. Paul speaks about this happening in the community of Christ followers, helping each other grow. In the book of Ephesians, for instance, Ephesians 4:15, he says, speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become in every respect the mature body of him who is the head, that is, Jesus Christ. Small groups are not going to be perfect, but I really believe they are effective in building disciples of Jesus. Now is the time. I believe the Holy Spirit is calling us as a church to connect with each other, to make a difference in one another's life. In our small groups, we will review some questions and thoughts from the previous Sunday's message. Now, if you'd like to help and be a host, either in your home or on Zoom, we're going to meet both ways. If you'd like to be a host of one of these groups, go to our webpage, gtpcperth.com, go to Ministries, Small Groups, click on there, and that'll direct you to let us know that you want either more information about being a host, or you would like to be a host. I look forward to hearing from you.